Hello, everybody. It's your boy Juice, and we are back here today to bring you some more Magic the Gathering Arena content. Yes, today we have Bant, Ramp, and Standard that we're going to be playing. And there's a lot of lists going around right now, and this is one that topped, I think 2 or 3 weeks ago. I couldn't find the original deck list. I didn't set it aside at the time, sadly, so I can't credit who it went to. I really wanted to, and I searched for it for, probably a solid 30 minutes and still couldn't find the guy who made it. This was a little while ago, but this deck is a little bit different than the ones that are going around right now. So the main goal of the deck, though, is to just accumulate value with some early game ramps. So for that, we have a playset of Llanowar Elves here. We're going to have a playset of Incubation Druid and Paradise Druid, all for ramp. 3 Bonds of Flourishing to make sure that we're hitting land drops or mana dorks, as well as that we're gaining 3 life every time we cast one. Some Crisis and Finale of Glory to dump our mana into. And then we have Knight of Autumn for utility removal, life gain, or just a big creature on board. To Fairy to bounce back, and to actually cast our Finale of Glory and River's Rebuke at instant speed, as well as Bond of Flourishing. And then we have 2 Shalai to give everything hexproof. We have 2 Xlong's Binding for our removal in the deck. Just 2 Tamios to get stuff back from the graveyard, keep our synergies flowing. And then we have 4 Nissa, who shakes the world. And that's just going to be one of our other ramp engines right here, because it's going to make all of our forests tap for an additional green mana. And then we also have my favorite piece of sauce in this deck. We have the River's Rebukes. We're going to have 2 of these boys main board. So there's actually a lot of decks right now have big board states where they want to pump up a bunch of planeswalkers and ultimate them, or they want to dump a bunch of creatures on the board and pump them and swing. Lots of riding and stuff going on with Gruul aggro and pumping with mono white decks. River's Rebuke just blows out decks really hard when it's they still only have 2 or 3 lands and you just tell them to pick up their board on turn 4 or 5. That's pretty devastating for most decks, and usually if you also have a Nissa out, you can start beating them with lands and get there before they can replay everything. Just normal land base. We're going to go 3 forests for our basic. All the usuals. We got our Hinterland Harbor, Breeding Pools, Temple Garden, Sunpetal Grove, Hollowed Fountains, and Glacial Fortresses. And then over in the sideboard here, we're going to have 3 Dovin's Veto for the control matchup, a Transmogrifying Wand for any kind of heavy creature removal we need to get going, Ixalan's Binding, another one just in case we need to bring it in, some Ajani Greathearted if we actually need to go more so bolstering our board or life gain. Or if we need some extra help getting our walkers up in loyalty, it's pretty good. It comes in handy in some of the matchups where life's a little bit more so hard to play with, stuff like Burn and stuff like that. Lyra, same reason. It's a big blocker. Beats any kind of burn deck pretty good. One Awakening of V2 Ghazi if we need a deck where we need to have something big to block our opponent's bigger creatures, like something with the deck playing Carnage Tyrant or something like that. 2 Tristanis to get around. There's a lot of manipulation decks, lots of deck stealing stuff, just trying to get all that back for us. And it also bumps our bolsters our board, and then also gives us 2 lifelink tokens. Pretty good in a lot of matchups to board in here. The Immortal Sun, which seems a little weird because of how many Planeswalkers we're running, but there are some matchups where we ourselves, against Planeswalker tribal decks, want to just take out most of our Planeswalkers for some of these life gain aspects, and also put in the Immortal Sun, which actually won a couple games when I was testing this deck that way. And then we're also going to have just a single Ugin the Ineffable, some colored permanent removal, as well as some token generation. Pretty decent in the deck. He's a pretty all-around card. I see him being played in a lot of decks right now. So, without further ado, we're going to go over here. I'm going to discard this change. I don't know what I changed. And then we're going to go. I already have a traditional constructed set up today. So what we're just going to do is we're going to go through this bad boy. We're going to see how many wins we can get today. So, all right here. Without further ado, let's get into it. Let's hope we go 5-0 today. Last week, if you were with us when I was playing that Jund Warriors deck I built, we did end up going 4 wins, 2 losses on traditional constructed. Made it all the way to the end on a dream, and hopefully we're going to go again. We're going for the 5-0 this time, or the 5-1. All right. So let's dive right in here. So, going to be on the play. And we have a shock, 2 checks, and a dork, so this is pretty much an acceptable hand. We also have the River's Rebuke, maybe we can catch him. And this Bonds of Flourishing is any permanent, which is really cool. So literally I think there are literally 7 cards in our deck we can't grab with Bonds of Flourishing, but everything else in our deck we can grab with it. So we're going to go here and play Llanowar Elves, and pass back to our opponent. Alright, red. I don't like seeing that. I'm gonna get shocked. We are. Llanowar Elves down. Alright, let's get this Bonds of Flourishing going. We already have 4 lands. I kind of like the Krasis. Those are both shock lands, which makes me not want to keep them as much either. If we're playing up against Burn, I do not want to be taking damage. Alright, so it looks like we're actually up against Drakes / Phoenixes. So this actually shouldn't be too bad for us. Like, this is a slow start, but if I can play Getcha with Ixalan's Binding on their Drakes, that might put us in a really good position. Their deck really doesn't have any way to deal with enchantments. And if it does, it's to bounce them back after they board. And even we can deal with that super easy with this deck, so that shouldn't be a problem. Are they just going to get greedy and play out a Drake here? Opponent just passing it back. Alright, alright. We can play the waiting game here. We're not too concerned, so let's play the waiting game. I wonder, are they just going to, like, bolt us? Are they opting? What's going on here? Did they have counter magic up? I don't think these decks usually run anything other than, like, Spell Pierce main board. Maybe they just think we're on, like, straight Bant walkers. Alright, the main phase op. That must have been their draw this turn. Sulfur Falls. And passing back to us, opponent? Alright. So I don't want to play this Krasis on 2 right now. I'd at least want to play it on 4 so it can kill any of their Drakes and straight up block any Arc-like Phoenixes. That also puts it out of bolt range too. Technically 5 would be the ideal, because then it's also just kind of like they have to have like more than one removal spell no matter what to get rid of it that way. Alright, he's cracking great from our opponent. And this is an easy turn. Ixalan's Binding. Congrats, you can no longer play Backburn Drake for the rest of the game. And get a Paradise Root on the ground. And this lets us next turn cast a Drake on 6, draw 3. That sounds pretty good. That sounds like they have to double bolt it to get rid of it. Ooh, Electromancer. I don't like that. So the other bad thing about this deck is the fact that it doesn't have a lot of removal. So lots of times when there's cards like Goblin Electromancer that you want to get off the board as fast as possible, you don't have a lot of options when it comes to getting rid of them. I'd be so surprised if our opponent just had a straight up counterspell here. That's not really like in the deck lists. They're thinking. Still thinking. Alright, hits the ground. A 6/6 Flying Trampler, not too bad for us. I think our next turn, we might just want to play a Pump Knight of Autumn Llanowar Elves and wait to get in another Krasis as an 8/8 or a 9/9, because that's kind of like, that's pretty much impossible for their deck to deal with, like, pre-boarded, I think. And then with this River's Rebuke too, anything they end up playing, we can just bounce their boards back to their hands, which at the end of the day, when they have to cycle through so much of their deck, okay, here we go, we see some Phoenixes. But yeah, when they have to cycle through so much of their deck to actually make stuff happen, and we just say, just pick everything up actually, we're just like leaving them at a point where they're going to have to deck themselves eventually, if we don't just beat them down before then. Phoenix from our opponent. And if he swings here, I'm just going to take it, actually, because he has Lightning Strike mana up, and hitting for 6 when he's at 18 and puts him on more of a clock than we are on if we just take the 3. No, but he is, in fact, going to leave it up as a blocker, which works great for us. Yeah, I'm still going to save this River's Rebuke just because it just blows him out so hard. Swinging with the Crisis. Make him bolt block. Like, I know it's coming. But, like, even if I'm making him cycle things, like, discard radical ideas to cycle things, I'm okay with that. Once again, his, like, biggest threat is... Like, one of his biggest threats is taken care of as far as, like, power on the board goes, with Cackling Drake being exiled. I'm going to go Knight of Autumn here. Like, and pretty much, if we can get a Crisis out on 9, it puts our opponent in a spot where they might just scoop, honestly, because I don't see how they beat that. Alright. They did not have the bolt. They just chumped with it. Oh, that's even sadder for our opponent. Alright. Yeah, I don't know what they can really do from this point. And it looks like Crackling Drake was actually a great card to exile with Ixalan's Binding. As our opponent now has 2 in the graveyard. Oh my goodness, opponent, what are you doing? Did you not have another instant or sorcery to cast to get back your Arclight? That is pretty weird. Okay. Yep, and there we go, we're just going. He kind of realized there's not a lot he can do here. So, boarding with our deck, we definitely want to bring in Lyra and Ixalan's Binding, because that hoses them pretty hard. Other than that, none of this looks too great to me. But taking out... Finale of Glory is actually really good here. Hydroid Crisis is as well. Tameo is a little slow against them, I feel. And then if we have to take out one more card, I think we should just cut a single Nissa. And I think that looks pretty good, so we're going to go back with that. Because while Nissa's a great ramp card, especially on the draw, it's a little too slow for us. And I'd rather have a 5/5 Angel with First Strike and Lifelink on the field that can instantly kill anything they have in their deck. The only other thing I'd be scared of is Terramander. I didn't see it, so... But I think that pumps itself to a 5/5, so it still kills it. And honestly, this is a great hand, so we're going to keep this. We have all the lands we could want. We can find any permanent in our deck, and we draw the Ixalan's Binding as the cherry on top. So we're going to be happy we kept this for days, I think. I hope. And Paradise Druid has protection, too. Tormenting Voice from our opponent. Alright, we're going to go Hinterland Harbor, Paradise Druid. And these are these kind of hands where they just ramp out of control. Like, next turn, if they play a Drake, we have an Ixalan's Binding ready on turn 3 to deal with it. And it's just going to be hosing them out of the game like that. Tormenting Voice again from our opponent. Land tap pass. Oh, untapped. Okay. Yeah, and this looks like a pretty easy turn for us. I just kind of want to ramp out of control here. And I'm okay with heading for 2 here just because we have so many dorks now. If they take out one of them, I really don't care. Like, these 2 tap for Bant colors, which is all we need. Chart, of course. I don't think we've seen a Phoenix in their yard yet. We have not. Alright, back to us, opponent. Okay, let's think here. Do hit it for 3. I think I like that. So we're gonna shock. Bond of Flourishing. If our opponent counters this, I'm not mad. He's thinking. Ooh, do we want a land, or a land? I think we'll take a land. And then we're gonna go here, white mana, cast this Knight of Autumn, pump it, go to combat, hit with our dorks. Opponent's down to 15, we're casting a big Crisis next turn, life sounds good. Ooh, we are not casting a Crisis next turn, we are going to bind away this Cackling Drake for days. Even if our opponent even had the mana for double Spell Pierce, we have the mana for that, so we are looking good here. Looks like the opponent does have Spell Pierce, so... Yep. I will gladly pay 2 mana to get rid of your Crackling Drakes forever. This is 4, 5, 6, 7. Alright, opponent, what do you got? You are dead on board if you play no creatures. Because we have this Incubation Druid we can pump. Alright. So we 3, 4, 5, 6. Put them 2 away from dead. Or we have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 mana open. Let's play 6/6 Hydroid Crisis. Oh, and another Ixalan's Binding means that we pretty much have this sealed off for our opponent. I don't know what our opponent can play here that gets them out of this. Because I think we can Nissa into Binding next turn if we need to. And still have enough damage to hit them. Alright, a Goblin Electromancer. Into... Ooh, I don't think that does it for you, opponent. If they go Land Drake, that's like the only other thing I can see him trying to do. Yep, shocking the entirely non-damage dealing Mana Dork. Radical idea. Yeah, that's just game. And opponent scoops. Alright, that is 1 win in the books. 2-0, first game, feeling good. Claim our prizes, get back here, and hop into the next round. Alright, match 2. Take a little water break. Alright. Ooh, double Dork into Fairy. Let's keep this all day. It's not a turn 2 to Fairy because our man is weird, but I'm okay with that still. He's there for when we need him. Our opponent on either Simic or Bant as well. Let's Hinterland. Combat. So our opponent... Ooh, maybe they're on Merfolk? Are we gonna get flashed here? No? Okay. Incubation Druid. Maybe they're just... Yeah, growth spiraling. That makes more sense. Another Regen Tool tap from our opponent. Alright. And Tamio.
I think you will find my notes helpful.
What are they gonna name? Let's pay attention here. Wilderness Reclamation? No. Oh god, we're playing against Nexus. Oh, against Nexus. This is rough. Because they're going to go off here in like a turn. Okay. Let's pay 2. Go here. Yes, Nissa. Nissa, our only hope. And let's start beating their faces in. I think this Nissa into a big Hydroid might save us, but I am not too optimistic. How do we beat them? Oh my god. They're just going to keep taking infinite extra turns if we get past like turn 5. I don't think our deck goes that... Our deck goes fast, but I don't think our deck goes that fast. Our deck is usually like turn 5, we prove we can put a lot of mana on the board, and the opponent gets like pissed off and scoops. But I don't know what we do past that if our opponent has a late game do nothing plan. They're already up to 5. I don't think I've ever played the Simic build of their deck though, especially not like last standard I played the Bant build.
We will not fail.
There's like a little bit more interaction that went on there.
The land shall conquer you.
Their own Nissa. That's no fun. Ixalan's Binding does seem okay here. Ooh, we probably want to save that for the Wilderness Reclamation. Let's do a quick mana count. So we have 2, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And that's 6, 9. Okay. So I think we can do this right. I'm going to go white, blue, 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 green, green, plus, go here,
Behold, nature's true power.
white. Alright. And first we're going to start off by going... We want to make sure that it actually does our mana right. Okay, thank God it did. Because it did not let me do that. We're going to go here, cast a fairy. I wish our timer would stop counting down. I don't think we've actually taken that much time. Bounce back your island. Do you have like a dive down? Nope, opponent's just going to scoop. They've had enough. We got him with the River's Rebuke. Oh, man, that card just sets people back so much. Alright, well, I think Ixalan's Binding is a definite include. And then I think we need to have our Dovin's Vetoes in here so we can get around any kind of root snares they're going to try to pull on us and make sure the Reclamations don't actually touch down. Because that's terrible for us. I wonder if we actually want the Immortal Sun here too. I can see the Immortal Sun being okay. If they're also running Nissa and Tamio, if we can slam one down before they can get a chance, and we can make sure we're countering or exiling their other stuff, I think that gives us a good chance. Okay, so we're definitely going to take out Tamio's and a couple... I think I want to leave in a single Nissa and 2 Teferi here. I usually like to leave a couple Teferi in because Like that last game, early game, if I can bounce like one of their lands off Nissa or something, it does just kind of make them replay their last turn mana-wise, and that can kind of cut them out a little bit. But I think other than that, we're looking fine here. Even just dumping a big Finale of Glory against their deck that's not even on 10, like Finale of Glory on 8 or something like that with backup to counter their like Root Snare on the next turn, can just be game ending for them. So now that I'm actually like looking at my whole deck splayed out, I guess this matchup is not as scary as I had originally thought it would be. We got the Rebuke in the Immortal Sun. We have to go for it. So like on top of shutting off all their Planeswalkers, it does make all of our spells cost less to actually cast, and it buffs all of our creatures and lets us draw an extra card. Against their matchup where they're just trying to outvalue us as much as they are, I think this kind of just completely bones them. So we're going to go Incubation Druid. We're actually ramping really fine here. I think next turn we'll probably go Hallowed Fountain Druid, and then we're looking at a turn for Immortal Sun, or River's Rebuke if they go off a little bit too early. But they're on 3 mana right now, potentially 4 after their land drop. I don't really see them going off this turn. Oh, they had the Reclamation. Which means they probably have some counter magic up. I'm hoping because they saw all of our walkers, they boarded accordingly to try to screw out our walkers, because now they're pretty much gone. Yeah, we're not really doing anything else. Let's just Hollow Fountain tap, pass back. So we're on 5 mana, 6 mana next turn into the Immortal Sun. And I hope that's enough. They can get up to 5 mana this turn, maybe drop a Nissa. They might just go Tameo as well if they have it. I'm not sure if they have any other walkers in the deck, but the Immortal Sun seems good nonetheless. Hopefully we don't get like Spell Pierced. Okay, Bonds of Flourishing. At least they're not adding an instant or sorcery to their hand. Ah, opponent was just missing their land drops. Ooh, and the Immortal Sun does shut down a Narset,
Just the trick
but it is kind of awkward because we don't get our extra draw anymore. But, opponent, do you have the counter? Oh, no, they have to negate. Okay. That's okay, we can always Rebuke next turn if they don't have another counter.
With thoughtfulness before action.
And they're finding more Wilderness Reclamations, which means I'm sadder now. And Nissa. Maybe I should have baited with the Rebuke first, since I knew it was going to get countered. I mean, that's not to say that these aren't going to be counter spells up here as well. I have no idea what's going on with our opponent. Yeah, hard times. Ugh. So I think we're just going to Rebuke him back here. Pick up all your permanents, opponent. Unless you have another counter, in which case I'm going to be even more sad than I was last time. Okay, there we go. We put him back to 4 mana. This Mobilized District. It's kind of funny, they just like permanently activated it in a way. Opponent. What are you doing? Ugh, this deck is just brutal. Let's see here. They have 3 mana up. They didn't have the counter last time. They have 1 new card in hand I don't know about. I think it's more worth it to pump an Incubation Druid right now. Because we can pump a Druid, go to combat, hit for 3, use the other Druid, cast Paradise Druid, and I think we're actually really close to just hard casting this Finale. Unless our opponent's going to like bounce our Druid here, which would suck. That is exactly what our opponent is doing, so let's just float a green and let that happen. I think we're just going to replay the Druid. Don't let him see our new Dork. Oh. Sorry, my dap still has to resolve. That did go in the stack. Alright, back to our opponent. They've successfully negated one of our turns because of that activation, so... Just back and forth, not letting each other do anything. The best kind of magic.
Together, we will prevail.
Nissa coming back, another 3-3. Looking worse for us by the second. Man, Wilder's Reclamation just makes that card even wilder. Let's pay here. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I can put in a 6/6 Crisis with an Incubation Druid up if I need a dire blocker. Unless our opponent has a counterspell? Nope. There's some good news for us. And we found one of our Teferis we can start countering as well. Get a Llanowar Elves down and pass back to our opponent. So we need 2 more mana technically from where we're sitting right now to be able to X = 10 this Finale of Glory. Don't know what our opponent... Oh, I guess our opponent's just testing to see if they can pump that into a 6/6. That's pretty cool. Oh yeah, because it technically turns it into a creature and it retains the 3 counters. Okay, that makes sense. I would have to test the same thing if I was our opponent.
Be wary of the ground you walk on.
Okay, I think I want to put the Mobilized District back in their hand as soon as possible. Oh my goodness, Biogenic Ooze. That is absolutely not what I wanted to see. Maybe I'll be putting that back in their hand. I think that just makes them redo their entire turn again. Oh, we have a Nexus of Fate. I think we have a Nexus of Fate. Yep, there we go. It's crazy how a mana doubling effect in Standard just makes that card even more insane than it was before. Oh, making more slimes. Yeah, I think this is pretty much over for us, so I'm not going to sit here and make our opponent take 2 more extra turns while they bash our faces in with slimes. I mean, let's just run it back. As long as we can get an Immortal Sun on the ground before they can do anything, we will outpace them here. We're 1-1, so this could go either way right now. Being on the play might help here. That is a really bad hand. We are going to mulligan that away. This is still pretty bad, but a little better, so we're going to keep it. Alright, well, let's go Hollow Fountain Tap, pass back. Okay. So there's not going to be another crazy turn 3 Reclamation from our opponent, so we don't have to worry about that. Ooh, do I want Ixalan's Binding or a Temple Garden? I think I want the Temple Garden. We need lands. I need to make sure we hit this Immortal Sun. And we have Dovin's Veto as backup if they try to just slam the Reclamation. They are going to slam that Paradise Druid, though. Alright. Pass it back to our opponent. Looks like they're just going to go for it. Nope, Bonds of Flourishing. Yep, that resolves. I just want to try to click through these as fast as possible so our opponent doesn't think we have counter magic up. He just thinks we're keeping a slow hand. Blast Zone. Gross. Let's go Hinterland Harbor, Incubation Druid. Opponent, do you have a response? Nope. Okay. So they might have a Growth Spiral on the end step here, which I will let resolve. Because if they're just trying to get to the point where they can counter our counter magic, that's not going to happen since we have the vetoes. Oh, I did my math wrong. I could have put that into the battlefield tapped. Oh well. Let's cast Knight of Autumn here. Make him a big boy. And pass back to our opponent. If they want to bounce it and waste their mana on that to cycle, I'm okay. Or are they going to pump their Blast Zone? That seems kind of weird. Are they just getting ready because they think we're going to cast an Immortal Sun and shut them off? Like, now I'm nervous. Man, opponent is not making this easy. Oh, let's go to combat. Declare attackers. And try to punch for 4 with a Knight. Our opponent is playing such a paranoid game of Magic right now. Okay, let's just drop the Llanowar Elves. End step of their turn, if they don't cast anything, we're going to pump the Incubation Druid. Man, are they just pumping up their blast zones? I don't get why they're just, like, paranoid about this. That is one of the downsides, definitely. Okay, they're pumping it up to 2. I don't know what they could gain from this. Are they just trying to, like, board wipe us with blast zones out of nowhere? Like, they're just playing the most paranoid game of Magic I've ever seen an Nexus of Fate deck play. Alright, let's tap out on your turn. See if you have the Nexus. Yep, there's the Nexus. I mean, now our opponent knows they can go off. But, like, literally Reclamation is the only thing I wouldn't want them to play right now. Now that I said that, they're going to cast one right here. Or are they going to pump or crack a Blast Zone? Because if they crack Blast Zone on 2, that hits their own Paradise Druid. So, I mean, but it's taking me down for 3 mana to take themselves down 1. Let's pay 2 life. I don't like that. I definitely want to add 3 blue, a green, and whatever else it wants to add here. This Immortal Sun is going to be key to our success. And we're going to Dovin's Veto your negate. And if you have more counter magic, you have more counter magic, and we're just ripping it out of your hands. Yep, second negate. Never didn't have it. We're still not too worried, though. I mean, what? We have 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We are 2 mana away from popping up this Finale of Glory with an X equals greater than, or X equals 10. And we have to remember our opponent probably kept in Fog Effects too, because it's how they stay alive if we get to late game. I'm just like terrified Nissa's going to come down. Or something even worse, Biogenicus. We didn't want to see that either. Second spell from our opponent? Nope. Land. Man, I feel like I can't play the second Incubation Druid. Because if I play the second Incubation Druid, the first thing he's going to do is just pop this Blast Zone, and then I'm out of all of my mana. I mean, I guess I'll swing with the Druid and the Knight of Autumn. Because if they want to double block the Druid, then I'll play my second one. And they did not take the bait. That's okay. Let's end turn. They're still having to spend all their mana to cast or to put more oozes down. I don't see a reclamation yet. And as long as we don't see a reclamation, we should be okay. But man, that card is crazy out of their sideboard. Which is, I'm assuming, where it comes from. I'm pretty sure they don't play that main board. Yep, one token. And I think they can only make one with their current mana. They have too many blue and colorless sources. Okay. Really glad I kept that druid back. I hope our opponent's surprised to see it again next turn. Pass back to our opponent. I want to keep up this veto mana just in case they play something that we can't beat. Because if I can pop off this Finale of Glory, we kind of just win. Man, we might be able to do it. Oh, please let us be able to pop it off. Please. We're swinging for 7. And they're not attacking. Oh my god, they're not attacking. This is great for us. And an Immortal Sun. Woo! Hate how the game doesn't... Every time we try to cast that, it's just like, oh, you have 6 lands. We have to tap these 6 lands. Even though it would be way better to leave up one of these lands for our Dovin's Veto. Because I think this puts us at enough mana to cast Finale of Glory next turn, which wins us the game. And if this last card in their hands in negate, we counter it. Oh, I'm excited now. So they're at 15, 17 damage if they full swing here, and I get to kill something. And then I get a Finale of Glory for 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So if I draw land on my 2 draws, because I get 2 draws, I can pretty much just win the game. Because these have... Yeah, they're vigilance and flying. And opponent's tapped out! With the Immortal Sun, they're all pumped. Opponent, what do you have to do about that? I just have to keep 3 angels back and I win. And you can't blow them up with your Blast Zone. Okay, that works actually. I didn't realize he pumped it. But still. I don't think there's a lot he can do here. And I have Dovin's Veto if he has the fog effect. Because I'm just going to chump with these. I don't care. He's not getting trample damage through. And there you go. He's at 1 land. So like his only hope is to find a fog effect, which I counter. In the second Finale of Glory! Oh my god. I do not deserve this win. But we're going to swing with... Let's just swing with all the angels. Wait for his fog. Woo! Minus 29 life. Take our opponent out of the game. I did not think we could win in that matchup, but apparently I was wrong. So we are now 2-0 in this league. Oh my god, that was stressful. I did not think we were getting there. Oh. Nexus of Fate. Man, I have not seen that deck. Even in Best of 3, I have not seen that deck in a while. It's kind of like fallen out of favor, and I see why. Why you gotta give us the 1-lander? Yeah, we just can't keep that. That's like bad man. Oh my god, are you kidding me? Instantly punished again. Well, we're gonna keep it. It's removal. This hand is going so slow, though. If we bond a flourishing and just hit like land, I'm gonna cry on camera. Because we're doing so good today. Well, we almost went land, but it was slightly better. We hit an incubation druid. Our opponent is also playing a slower version of our deck? Question mark? If they're just playing like Nissa ramp and they get it out next turn and we binding it, I think that's stunning rings for them. Oh, that is exactly what's going to happen. Man, Ixalan's binding. People aren't playing this anymore. It's great. I don't know if this deck, because if his deck's like ours, his only answer would be like another Ixalan's binding. But he's just playing more ramp. Bye-bye Nissa?
The land will not forsake you.
Like, yes, he has some power on board, but we can get some power on board as well. It's not that hard. And we can cast Nissa. He can't. If he Ixalan's binding or Ixalan's binding, that would be actually really funny. Nope, but we'll take 5, go down to 15. Because we'll go back up 3 life to 18 next turn. Unless we draw something that's more insane. Yeah, no. Okay. Bond of Flourishing. Opponent's growth spiraling. Ooh. Oh, it's even worse for us. I don't want to see that. Gross. Grab a Sun Petal Grove. Man, that sucks for us. Because opponent can just keep hitting us for... We've seen... Wait. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 lands so far this game. On turn 5. Oh my god, 13 lands is literally more than half of the lands in our library. And opponent's gonna pump this Incubation Druid. I don't know why he thought we would chump that. But, we ain't chumps, so we're not chumping. No! Oh god! Say it ain't so, deck. We've seen 14 of our 24 lands. Why does this always happen when you keep a 5-lander? Always. With 2 Bonds of Flourishing, that means we've dug 6 cards. Ah. Okay, well we're gonna block this land. And apparently not have the chance to pump our Druid. That's embarrassing. Let's just see what we draw. 15th land C in this game will in fact be a let's go to sideboard. That was like embarrassing. Well, what would I not want to see if I were playing my deck? Probably Immortal Suns. I think Lyra kind of also gets around everything that this deck tries to do. I think Nissa's a little too gimmicky. And let's take out a single Tameo. And then, are the vetoes worth it? If they're playing Finale of Glory too, and I took Nissa out, I think I want to take Tameo out, take Finales out, and then put in my vetoes. I just want to go like full in, because they're running pretty much the same list I am. They're trying to Nissa into either Krasis or Finale. And if I can just play the keep stuff off their board game and make their board useless game, and then just beat him to death with Lyra and Shalai, I think that's how we win this matchup. So we're going to board like that. Oh my god. What are the odds that we see 15 of our 24 lands after we dig like 10 cards deep in our deck? That is frustrating. Okay. This is much more acceptable. I can burn this Teferi to stall for the Immortal Sun. I like that game plan. I can lead on this Glacial Fortress here since I'm doing nothing turn 1 anyway. Make sure I have all my manners. No, I really have all my manners. Bonds of Flourishing. I'd rather have Ramp to get this Immortal Sun out, considering Teferi's going to be dead as soon as it hits the board. Like, if I can just use Teferi to stall him a single... Like, I think next turn I'll use it to stall. Or not. If he's just not going to play anything, never mind. Yeah, totally not worth it. So let's just go Paradise Druid here. That puts us at 5 mana. Next turn we can either Binding or Teferi, depending on what he plays. Man. Saddest day still. That last game was brutal. Yeah, let's go. Temple Garden tapped here. I like that. Teferi. Does our opponent have the counter? Our opponent brought in negates. I mean, it makes sense. And it just makes me happier how we sideboarded, if anything. Because it means that we're safer now. Tendershoot Dryad is not good for us, though. Let's get that off the board. I do not like that. Grossness. Goodbye, Tendershoot. Get that nastiness out of here. I'm going to laugh pretty hard if our opponent also boarded out most of their Planeswalkers. They're doing something. They're thinking. They're targeting things. Swinging for 1. Opponent, I will totally go down to 21. We're still winning the life game. Oh, a big crisis. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I like that. Let's just play the Immortal Sun while we know he's not going to counter it. It's going to make our following turns a little bit better. It already makes it so we can also play, even if we don't hit our land drop, we can play a 5/5 Crisis to block his with. And it brings us down to 12, right? Yeah, 12. I'm not that upset, because I can even play Bonds of Flourishing if we don't hit a land drop too, to pretty much ensure we will. I like that plan. Let's grab a Sun Petal Grove. How about we do this? Hydroid Crisis is gone forever, opponent? And man, we were just getting him with the control game here. Land of War Elves, and then we get to cast our own huge Crisis next turn? Yeah, this deck is sick. I am loving this. This is like everything I've wanted in a Bant deck in Standard forever. I mean, yes, that sucks, but I don't think we're that bad. If we hit a land drop, we can still cast a Crisis on 6. Yeah, there you go. There's a Crisis on 6. Boom. Boom. 5, 6. Wham bam, thank you, Hydroid Crisis. Prison Realm, but we have a Knight of Autumn, which doesn't really help us at all, actually, because then Crisis will come back and die instantly, but that's okay. Maybe this Bonds of Flourishing can help us find something more useful, like a Lyra. And we're back up to 18, too. Teferi's useless. We don't have much instant speed interaction that we care about. Oh, and here's our Lyra. Yeah. Well, let's Flourishing make ourselves look for something. Shalai? Boom. This is looking better. Now we can clear a Shalai. Well, we have like infinite angel protection, opponent. What's up? Another board wipe would suck here. But if he has like another Prism Realm, we're okay with that because of Knight. And we know he's probably just going to use this Teferi to bounce Shalai. Oh, he can't. Is our opponent wondering why he can't? It would actually be this card right here. It's called the Immortal Sun. It's pretty good. It kind of says hose all of your planeswalkers. Mass manipulation. That seems like a good River's Rebuke if I've ever seen one. Oh, that is gross. That is super gross. Because of our... Okay. How about I go to combat and I punch you in the face for 6 damage, opponent. Okay, there we go. And then I'll gain 6 because it's lifelink. Cool. Alright. And then we're going to go 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Crisis on 8. Boom. Ooh, that sounds like a 9/9 trampler opponent. They might just have to scoop here. Like, even, like, if you pump your stuff a couple of times... Okay, there you go, now your green mana is doubled, but you can't use the Nissa still. So our opponent definitely left all of their walkers in, and these Immortal Suns are getting them pretty good. Punch our opponent. Opponent's going to 1. Man, I don't know what they're doing here. I wish we could River's Rebuke him here, but Shalai is pretty good at making it so we can't target them. Ooh, unless they have a board wipe, and we just totally played into that. So let's actually hold back here, because they are at 1. Because if they board wipe, that means they have to get rid of Shalai, which means we can rebuke them when the time comes. So... it's just spells that can't be cast. Yeah, so I can still Incubation Druid activate it on their next turn. Because if they board wipe, yeah, they don't have it. That's what I thought. I was gonna say, like, if they have the second board wipe, I'd be okay with that, but it's okay. And that seemed to hose them pretty good. Now that I know they have manipulation, Tristani seems a little better, but I don't know what I want to cut for it. Yeah, I don't think it's like they probably have like 1 or 2 of in the deck. I don't think we're going to see it too much, and I think our River's Rebukes do a good enough job at getting our stuff back as long as they're not continually stealing Shalai. But, yeah, I still like this. Let's run it back. I don't want to start like messing up our curve to side stuff in, because that's when we're going to lose. Hope everybody's watching is having a great Saturday night so far. It's already 8 p.m. Holy cow. Does not seem like I've been streaming for an hour, but time goes by when you're having fun, smashing face. This looks like a good hand for us. Opponent, do you want to go down to 5 and make our lives so much happier? Please? Ooh, a bottom scry. That looks good for us, especially when we're starting off with turn 1 Llanowar Elves. And then we have turn 2 Incubation Druid, turn 3 Lyra Dawnbringer, turn 4 Mortal Sun. Opponent, you have your work cut out for you. Growth Spiral here from our opponent, maybe? Yep. Fourth land drop. Llanowar. And passing back to us. Well, let's go Howled Fountain, Lyra. Pass back to our opponent. And can they beat a Lyra? Okay. We're going to rain our opponent's parade in a second here when we cast an Immortal Sun.
The land fights for us.
Well, we are winning this raid, so let's punch him with Lyra, gain 6. Come on, opponent, we just locked you down turn 4 super hard. A 6/6 first strike flying lifelinker. Oh, this Krasis is definitely getting Ixalan's binding next turn. And I think that's just going to make our opponent a little sadder. I like this. How about we do that, and then do this, and then bind this Krasis, hit for 6 again? Be super oppressive to our opponent. We're already up at 30 life. I don't see them really coming back from this. Like, yes, their mana is huge right now. Okay, Tendershoot Dryad is a decent play, but I don't think they can... I don't think that gets them there. Like, yes, hitting me with 3/3s, if you had like 5 more turns to make them would be good, but you have 1 to 2 turns tops to make them, plus this Incubation Druid is going to start swinging at you as well. Because I don't have any other use for it right now, unless I find like a Shlai. I mean, yeah, let's just... Incubation Druid. Knight of Autumn. Put 2 counters on him. And I actually just like leaving these guys back for blockers because they can just keep eating his tokens. Like, Tendershoot Dryad's a really good card, but it's a really good card when your opponent's behind, not when they are beating you. And our opponent's at 5, so it's not looking up for him. Yeah. And we can cast this to Fairy too if we want to cut him off with instant speed interaction. But like, all they've shown us so far are growth spirals, I think. I don't think there's been any other, in the last couple of games, any other kind of instant speed interaction. Minus negates. So, I mean, I guess if we have a big non-creature we want to pull off, maybe Teferi can come down, but I see him as being... I see like blocking in response pump a Druid is a little nicer. And like, if they just... I don't have to block. Alright, opponent has had enough. And that is going to bring us match 3, a win. So we are 3-0 right now in this constructed league. Boom. Alright. Alright, so let's go on to game 4. Still 0 losses. We're looking at winning that 5-win jackpot tonight. So this deck is definitely... It seems to have counters for like everything in the meta right now, and I think it's positioned really well. Because what... I mean... Lots of decks have kind of wanted to play the playstyle where you're getting out Nissa and you're ramping it really hard and you're doing stuff with Nissa, or ultimating Nissa, or using her ultimate to get places, or using the lands to cast big things right away, or like get out of Galta early. But this deck tweaks that a little bit and says, what if we played like a little bit of a more mid-range game and we made it so we were slowing down our opponents? And I think that's what kind of sets it aside from like other builds of like the kind of like ramp into Nissa deck. And specifically, like, River's Rebuke, I never thought I would be seriously playing that card in a standard deck, but here we are. And it has just been, like, kicking butt all night. Once again, lots of these decks do have this big, like, let's ramp up, let's get a lot of stuff on the board, let's do a lot of stuff and sit here. And then when your opponent's sitting there, you can just come in and go, oh, hey, by the way, pick up your entire board and restart your last 3 turns. But my board is still okay. Yours is the only one that's screwed. Let's pick up a Teferi here. And that just... And that paired with Teferi bouncing things back and activating our cards... Oh. Well, that seems pretty good, opponent. But... I mean, we're not going to target your Thorn Lieutenant, so how about we just play this Knight of Autumn and pump it. Some good cannon fodder. Thorn Lieutenant's getting played a little bit more too, I think because of Teferi, and it's definitely a solid choice. But,
The only authority that I recognize is chaos.
man, I don't... Opponent, what you doing? Okay, you want to shock our Llanowar, that's okay. I'll be sad about it, but I'll accept my fate. What is the best play here? I feel like getting rid of that Llanowar was actually pretty bad for us. Do we want to sacrifice our Knight of Autumn? Or I think we just want to use Teferi to stall really quick and force him to chump with the warrior or lose his Domri. Because like if he like, I like that because then he might think like, oh, if I save it, I can kill this Teferi, which is realistically the only thing this Teferi is doing for us right now is allowing us to instant speed River Rebuke our opponent, which is some super sick combat tricks going on in this deck. But yeah, let's just try to kill this Domri, see if he'll let us do it. Of course he's not, so he's gonna block it. That's okay. That's what we expected. Gruul Spellbreaker, and then he's gonna go into Thorn Lieutenant and punch us for 4 as well.
I've lived with animals my entire life. Explains a lot, actually.
It's actually cool, opponent. I like what you're doing. This kind of makes it so we can't play Nissa either, because like...
You just let me know if you're up for round 2.
Yeah, I think we need to wait one more turn to play Nissa. We can draw a single card and get a 3/3 on the board with Krasis. Oh, I don't like that either. But I think that's the play. So let's punch here, see if he'll block with the Thorn Lieutenant. He's gotten a token off of it. Maybe he can make the trade. I just want to get rid of it because I don't want him forcing a fight. Looks like that's not going to happen. We have more cards in hand. Our cards are doing more things to gain us more cards than his are. Okay, this Finale of Glory, and like Nissa into Finale of Glory, if we can keep their field a little bit more clear, should do the trick. Hellkite is not good for us, though. And he's going to make the Hellkite fight the Krasis.
We are the many.
Yeah, and like, I still don't like this. So our next turn's probably just going to have to be Rebuke Pass. Which, they get to play Domri into Spellbreaker even if they don't hit a land. So we're just letting them pretty much reset. And all it's doing is really stalling us to go off. So there are times when that happens with the card and that kind of feels bad. But also using Teferi to get them on their end step feels way too good to just say the card's straight up bad. Okay. Well, that seems suboptimal. Tapping for that. Yeah, I think Nissa just dies if I play it, because he's going to play the Hellkite with haste. That's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I think we just need to play like a big Krasis or something, or... Because I just essentially need this to stay alive for a turn. There was a Rebuke on top, and that would have helped us out a lot. I can't... Do we just go for the Nissa? I mean, it's just gonna die. Like, he's gonna, like, fight with one of our... with, like, the land we animate, and then punch Nissa with both his creatures and kill it. I don't like that. Yeah, this is a rough spot we've found ourselves in. Oh man. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we can cast this for 6. I think we should do that. Now that we have 2 of them. 6 2/2s is great blocking fodder for the Spellbreakers, and if he wants to keep spending 4 mana every turn to get rid of a single one, like, oh, Sarkin, that's not what we wanted to see. Man, this card's bonkers. Man, I don't think we come back from that one.
They can only punish you if they catch you.
Because he can make it... Yeah. Okay. Because we're just dead to the Hellkite. Yeah, that's definitely a game. Oh well. Yeah, that one was not in our favor. Yeah, so Finale of Glory proved how kind of useless it is in this matchup. And man, they just have all the walkers, so I think I want to go Immortal Sun. I want to put in Wand. And I think Lyra Binding. So I have 4 more cards to take out. Let's just take out Nissa's. Let's replace Tamio with Tristani too. I just want to get walkers out. Let's run it like that. Because once again, like, I know I could probably keep in the Tamios and get away with it, but like, I feel like every time I keep them in, I draw an Immortal Sun and a Tamio is how it's gone. And it's like, what the Tamio gets me a mill for most of the time too, into me playing the Sun the next turn. That's what it usually turns out to be. So that's never, like, that never feels great. Honestly, just take her slow and steady here. I'm okay with this hand. We gain 6 life and have a wand, and we can use these to find mana dorks. Or even, like, more answers. Like, I'm okay with this. In our life, we know we definitely have to play it a little safe here. Okay, Shalai makes me feel a little bit happier about this hand, too. Let's grab a forest. Up to 23. Yep. Thorn Lieutenant can stay on the board. Let's play Transmortifying Wand. This is really great too. And, so if he animates a Sarkin, I can use it to kill his Sarkin, which is pretty funny. Okay, let's get Shalai out. Nice 3-4. If he wants to fight and then swing and have me block it, I just rather actually kill his Domri. Is he going triple Thorn Lieutenant? Is he doing it? Oh, okay, he's gonna collision. That actually seems pretty good. Do I want to... I think I just want to take the land for Immortal Sun. Because what does Tristani get me right now? It lets me block and double block and kill the lieutenants. We have so many lands in the deck. I feel like with the... Okay, I think with the Paradise Druid, I just want to take Tristani. I don't think anything's going to be dire enough, because Paradise Druid's going to have hexproof. So as I can at least get down the Sun next turn if I need to, and if not, I can just drop Tristani if I think that's better at the time. Shutting off Domri is definitely something I want to start as soon as possible, though. Oh, yeah, we're dead. Yeah, it's Immortal Sun all the way next turn. We're not playing around here. I think Sun... Oh, man, that is just brutal, though. Yeah, we just have to let him hit us. And I think that means we're dead. Well, no, we can chump with the Paradise Druid. So I think what we'll want to do is block a Thorn Lieutenant with Paradise Druid. Oh, he's giving that Riot. No, we're still okay. Block. Full control. Tap. Oh, you can only use it as a sorcery? Okay. Reading your cards is important. That's okay though, let's get rid of a Thorn Lieutenant. Tristani should help us buffer out a little bit here. Let's wand. This is getting rid of a land to give them an ox. And we have two 3/3 lifelinkers and a 2/5 to block with. So yeah, that means we're still alive. We're seeing another Gruul Spellbreaker. That's okay, because I'll just double block the breakers. And this isn't looking great. I don't know in what world our opponent wouldn't just give it haste here. Spring block, block, block. So we take 5, gain 6. We take 5, gain 6. I think we're alive by like 2 life. Funny enough, I think this keeps us alive. Because there's not a lot that instantly kills us that they have. Like if they have a bolt here and they want to bolt Krasis, that's okay. Because we have another one that we can put on a bigger power next turn. Oh, that's right, they can pump it. Duh. Some sick magic text when I forget what my opponent's cards do. I think I think if I'm binding one of their walkers, that's okay too. I think I want to get Domri off so they're not getting this extra damage buff.
No, I'm not finished with you. Not by a long shot.
Whew. No, actually, we're gonna put that in tap. I almost shocked myself, and then I saw like it flashed before my eyes, like the shock in their hand, and I was like, nope, can't do that. It's like, because the second I do that, they have a shock. Yeah, there we go. It's like, nope, that's not happening, actually. Okay, they've seen enough. They're scooping. I think they realized that we're just kind of going to lock them out of the game, drawing 2 cards every turn. You know what? Let's take the wand out. I actually kind of want to put Awakening in instead. I think that's a little bit better than it here, because I don't really want to destroy their stuff as much as I would just like to block and kill it. Because a 9 power or 9 toughness is hard for them to get over. We've been putting up a fight today. I mean, this just kind of hoses them, so let's go for it. Double binding against their deck is... Oh, are we seeing a shock opponent? I mean, if they want to turn 1 shock our land or where else, we'll buy into it. If they almost shocked us while it was on the stack, that would have been not so great for them. They're already down to 4 cards in hand, 5 cards on turn 2, so tap land go. This is looking like a winnable race for us. If they're not doing anything till turn 3, and we're dropping this Knight of Autumn, like, I don't know what they're doing. Because this Knight of Autumn can block and kill. Oh, yeah, Domri.
What a glorious day for Savannah.
So I'll give him 1 turn with Domri until we take it away forever. And we can give a Knight of Autumn +2. So if he drops a Spellbreaker next turn, we have an answer for it. I can feel either. I think it's a Spellbreaker. But if he drops like double Thorn Lieutenant, that would be really funny, or something like that. That we can just take care of instantly.
Grenades is my bread and butter.
Sarkin, gross.
I fight with a dragon's rage.
Well, this is why we
Demands power.
Okay, this is good for us, actually. It doesn't look good, but it actually is. Because I can Ixalan's Binding Sarkin away.
No.
And then bring Domri to 1.
I'm starting to get miffed now.
And let's say like he like casts a Hellkite next turn or something. I can Ixalan's Binding the Hellkite, kill Domri. And like he's out of options. That's exactly what he's doing. So I'm sorry, opponent. This is going to feel very, very bad for you. But we are going to Ixalan's Binding, Scrag, and Hellkite, and punch our Knight of Autumn into your Domri. And essentially just fully neuter your deck.
I'm not finished with you. Not by a long shot.
Because now anything that you have that you can play, we're going to be able to take care of with our Awakening. Yeah, that's okay. We'll have a coil that guy. We didn't want him. Punch our opponent for 9. That was a really quick way to level the playing fields, actually. Oh, please tell me that's our opponent's only play. Teferi, Bounce, Blondes of Flourishing sounds great here.
Right on schedule. I've got it.
Oh, opponent. My Hollowed Fountain V2 Ghazi pimped out with the, Oh no! That's terrible for us. Because he's just gonna block, destroy.
Don't worry. I got this.
Well, we can play an Incubation Druid and pump it, so we have 2 big threats. Because, yeah, he's probably going to get Sarkin back here. No, he's getting the Hellkite back. I wonder if he has another one in hand or something. I mean, the Hellkite just blocks. All right, opponent. Yeah, you're gonna ping it, because I misplayed and I should have just done that as soon as he played it, because I forgot he can just react at instant speed like that. So it's misplay numero uno by me tonight.
Here we go.
But we're not gonna make the same mistake twice. Make him have 2 creatures, so... I know it would be too insane if they gave this trample with Awakening, but man, that would have been sick. And like, even though it wouldn't have helped us here, like maybe even giving it like trample for the turn would be like good flavor-wise for the card. I think we win unless that second card's a creature. If that's a creature, we don't. Unless we top deck something like bananas. I'm gonna cry if there's a River's Rebuke on top. That would be literally the best top deck for us.
Suppose that's how it was meant to happen.
Okay. That actually makes it so... He has to leave these... No, because he can play the second one and then he wins. Okay, so we need a River's Rebuke. Or like, Hydroid Crisis would also like let us survive. Tristani does not let us survive. Because that just... Yep. And then we just take 5 blues. Man, that was super close. Because now our opponent's just going to swing win. I mean, there's nothing we can do, so... We'll let him get the satisfaction of swinging at us. That was a really close game, though. I mean, and what it came down to is without, like, Brontodon was just such a good top deck for him. Like, without that, it would have been, like, totally in our favor. But since, I mean, he had it. I mean, what can we do? Sometimes that's just how the game plays out, and there's nothing you can do, so... But that was a good game of Magic nonetheless. Vizugate, I did not realize how insane that card was. All right. McGee 87 is choosing who will play first. No, we learned earlier. Oh my god. Okay, we're keeping it. Nope, we need land. Land. Got an opt-in response opponent. Hopefully this isn't mono blue because this deck is pretty badly matched up against mono blue. Hopefully this is just like Drakes or Esper or might be Turbo Fog. Fun didn't have a growth spiral, or they just pass through their turn. What's Bonds? Or I should say Bond, singular. Hollowed Fountain. Play it tapped. Combat. Swing for 2, because I think he's either just gonna... Like, if he's gonna do something with his Blast Zone, I'm just gonna let him do it. Like, if he wants to pump it to 2 here to get rid of my Paradise Druid. Yeah, okay. Like, I'm torn about this card because I feel like most people just waste their turns pumping it. Like, we... So, sneakily, we have enough dorks here. So I'm just gonna swing, play Incubation Druid. And see if that's enough to make him pop this Blast Zone. No, he's gonna Chemist's Insight, okay. I was gonna say, because if I could just get him to pop it on 2, like, I would... That's, you know, just one look at our hand and you know that's not a problem for us. I don't... Is our opponent playing Reclamation? Alright, there's a Nissa.
We will not fail.
Gonna animate a land here.
Behold, nature's true power.
Yep, we have to take that.
possibility.
Let's bounce your Island. Draw a card. Draw Hinterland Harbor. Cast Land of War Elves. And I think we just want to go for their face. Is that right? Because they go up to 4 land and then they can cast something. Yeah, let's just go at their face. They're already down to 10. If we draw a Crisis and pump it really big, we win. We're at 7 mana. Yep. The good old net an extra 2 mana.
Be wary of the ground you walk on.
Oh! Well, isn't that just a fun little turn 2 Nexus of Fate? Opponent going to their next turn. Man, Nexus of Fate is really just insane with Nissa. Especially if your opponent's tapped out like I am right now. I guess Blast Zone is good for them. Man! Just natural drawing all the Nexus of Fates. Gonna punch our Teferi for 3 maybe? Yep, that's exactly what you're doing. Man, this is brutal. It's okay though, we learned how to get around their deck. Shutting off Nissa is a big part of that. Man, he's already grabbing every land in his, or every forest in his deck. If he has like another Nissa, I think we're just gonna scoop. Like, there's still an answer for this though, and it's just finding a Teferi and bouncing his lands back if he doesn't have another Nissa right away. Yeah, so he's just grabbing every forest in his deck. See another blue, another blue. Like, if it's just... Okay, Tamio.
Dueling you will be excellent.
Yeah, so... He doesn't have
To the
another extra
library.
turn. I think he's probably just going to name Nexus or Reclamation. Yep, there you go. He can't cast it this turn, though? No, he cannot. Unless he still has a land. Okay. So he's going to cast Reclamation, pass back to us. I mean, we take 3. Okay, so this isn't over yet. Like, we do have a chance here. But we are definitely going to be siding in hard against his deck. Oh my goodness. Alright, opponent. Chemist's Insight. Nexus of Fate. Oh. Popping their Blast Zone on 2 to get rid of our dorks. I mean, I think scooping, we still have a little bit of a chance here, so. I mean. Yep, we'll take 6 again. Like, because once again, if we find a Teferi still, we're, like, in okay shape again. I mean, unless they can, like, Nexus lock us out of the game, we still have a fighting chance? Huh, did the opponent really do that so they could cast it again to get another chance at finding Nexus? That's kind of funny.
If your talents are worth capturing. I know I noted this somewhere.
Okay, they whiffed again. This is... They're trying so hard to find it. I think we might actually get a turn here. I mean, they definitely do get a flipped as comp the next turn, though. Oh no, did they find another one? Or is this just like a Chemist's Insight? Oh, like, okay, they're just gonna try to draw off Memorial. Genius. Okay. Oh no, come on. Okay, I've seen enough. I've seen it. There's no way they're not finding another one with 23 cards left. And his Conta flipped, yeah. Okay, they had it. We could have saved some time and scooped earlier, but oh well. So we're putting in Dovin's vetoes. We're bringing in the Immortal Sun. I think we're bringing in Ixalan's Binding again. Getting rid of Nissa's. Get out of here. Get rid of our Tamios and run it back. Man. I mean, we know how to board against this deck now. I think last time we brought in Lyra too, but I don't see that as being, like, honestly too great. Let's play first. Do we risk it for the biscuit? Man, oh man. We'd get punished. I know we would. This is a lot more fair. I've been really good at actually mulliganing my hands because I don't want to look like a dingus on camera, so. I'd like to give mad props to myself for learning how to play the game after like 50 punts. Opponent coming back at us with a Paradise Druid of their own. We're already at 5 mana on turn 3. Another Paradise Druid from our opponent. Glacial Fortress from us. If we rebuke, they can still go land. Yeah, I don't like this. I don't like this. We're just going to pass back. I feel like this is a trap. Also, River's Rebuke doesn't really hit them that. Like, yes, it slows them down. No, it does not slow them down that much. Here, though, I think it's fun. I just want to keep them, like... I want to keep them on, like, a tempo. If they're just going to counter this, that's fine. Or they might just be trying to charge the Blast Zone to get rid of our Paradise Druids, since we're bouncing theirs back. No, they're not playing around. They're negating. And that's okay. Even if he plays Reclamation, we have Knight of Autumn, and I don't think he'll have a lot of creature-based counters. But, or he can just have Nexus of Fate. Man, he's drawing them like crazy. Like, I know it's like the point of the deck, but like he seemed to have like some real good luck with just top decking them. If we see like another Nexus here, I'll cry. Tamio really accelerates search.
For my study. The past is never forgotten.
Oh. Opponent just wanted another negate. Well, let's give him something to negate. There's no way they're not negating a Teferi. There you go. Yep. Get rid of your instant speed interaction. So that card just shuts down your entire deck. And I think I really can't trade my Paradise Druids for it right now, so that's why I let it go. I think I'm going to blow up their search right now because I don't want them to start digging. Yeah. Blow up your search. A Nissa would be really, really good if we still had it in our deck, because I didn't side out Finale like I should have. That's my bad. So boarding improperly might actually just get us here. But I might still just try to pop this off if I can.
I think you will find my notes helpful.
I think technically I should have Dovin's vetoed their negate. I think that would have been the correct play. We didn't come here to not make 5/2/2 soldiers to start hitting them with. Because that puts them on quite a clock. But we're going to see another negate opponent? We are going to see another negate. So that's 2 negates past. I can't see him having that much more. Do you want to trade a Paradise Druid opponent? Okay, take him off some mana. Okay, and with that, they'll just level the playing fields.
To the library.
Nexus? I don't know why you would do that, because you cannot hard cast Nexus here unless they're going to cast a Wilderness Reclamation the exact turn when we didn't leave up our Dovin's Vita mana, which is how that always goes, coincidentally. And we're going to draw another Dovin's Veto. Just going to sack Memorial to draw 2. Man, they're already at 28 cards left in their library on their turn. I mean, these vetoes let us stop their extra turns. Yeah, we're going to counter that search. That just like enables them to win so much faster.
Let me aid your research.
They still haven't found a Nexus, which is good for us. Ooh. Narset sucks, but we didn't take care of it.
Mind and body. Keep an open mind.
Man, this deck really just dumpsters on us hard. Oh man, we found our other Dovin's Veto, which means we probably should have just gone for it. Okay, well, we'll
Fury will only lead you astray.
Yep, we'll let you cast Chemist's Insight. See, like, if we had some way to, like, exile the Nexus, we could do something here, but get that out of here. You can't counter it. There you go.
I know I noted this somewhere.
So he's found one Nexus of Fate, 16 cards left in the library. He'll go to end step, tap out, cast it. And we're going to counter it. I just still don't see this going well for us. Oh! I actually see that helping us a lot.
Let's try this.
Because they're at a point where they have so many lands in the yard. If we can, I mean, if they just make their land drop here, that doesn't really, that Teferi doesn't do a whole lot. But that means that makes it so they can't chain things and they can't interact on their end step with casting Nexus. Man, and they're just milling all of their lands away. Oh man, if they lock them, okay, there we go. They found another land. Well. We know they have the, like, we can see the negate, but I mean, because this is kind of our last turn to try. Like, they're going off next turn, I have no doubt about it. They have 8 cards left in library. Like, most of those are Nexus of Fates. One would say the majority. So they're gonna Nexus lock us out of the game here.
The storied past holds
Oh no, Nissa was, yeah, exactly what they needed to kind of finish it out here.
I will protect the virtue of this world.
Yeah, I don't think there's much we can do here. They're going to keep making animated lands and just beat us to death.
The land fights for us.
And yep, because they're just going to go to the end step, and when they cast the first Nexus, it's just kind of over. Yep, so here comes one Nexus of Fate, and that's all we need to see. That's pretty much just going to be the game. There's not a lot of getting around that, so, you know, just how it is. And that is going to conclude our league. We went 3-2 today. Got some sick pulls here, not really, but, we had some fun. Let's go back to the deck list really quick so we can recap. Yep. There we go. So, Bant Ramp with River's Rebuke and Ixalan's Binding in it. Pretty fun, actually. I had some fun. Finale of Glory was a pretty good include, too, I think. We got some unfortunate matchups. We were really close in that one Gruul match, but sometimes there's not a lot you can do about that. Overall, I'd say, though, I have like my usual like win rate percentage with this deck. I usually like 4-2 those constructed leagues. We did a little bit worse today and went with a 3-2, and that's okay sometimes. So, cards weren't in our favor, no pun intended, actually full pun intended. But overall, I think the deck's pretty fun. And then if you join me next Wednesday, I'm still trying to decide a time. We're actually going to be playing some pre-release constructed on Arena. I believe it'll probably be late at night if I had to choose for myself. So I think maybe 10 o'clock will be our starting time. We'll go 10 to like a late night deal with it. And we're just going to, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put $20 into Arena, and we're going to see how many back-to-back constructed events I can get with that $20, because after X amount of wins in constructed, I think they've changed it like every time, you get all of your money that you put into it back, as well as the cards in the packs, and then you get to redo it again. And even if you like go like really well with your record and have some floating gems from the record before, as you can see, like I've purposely kept my gems at like 70 here, so it's going to be like menial, pretty much like what I have for when we go and do it next time. And these are just like, I think it was at 10, but literally just from like having way too many cards, it just keeps giving me those gem wild cards. But yeah, so next week if you join me for that, or actually this upcoming week, Wednesday, it'll be a fun time. Other than that, keep an eye out on the Mom Basement stream schedule. We're going to have some events going on, some other fun stuff. Streaming every day, of course, per usual. And actually, really quick, I'm going to bring you guys over here, and we are going to raid. So let me go over. Let's find someone who could use a couple more viewers. All right. Yeah, but yeah, so next week we're going to be doing some pre-release stuff on the channel. At least I know I am. Let me see here. Sorry, I'm trying to get the raid started right now. All right. And that should work. Oh no, they didn't give me permission to perform it. So I guess we won't be raiding today. That's sad. I'll have to get that figured out. So yeah, without further ado, that's going to be the stream for tonight, guys. Thanks for joining me. I hope you had some fun watching some Bant Ramp action, and I hope you'll join me again this next Wednesday while we have some pre-release action going on. Have a good rest of your night.